Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Halo Effect. As usual, I am your host, Robert Lockhart. Before we get into it, I do want to apologize that this has been, so long before I got this next video out. Like I said, life happens, and hey, life happened. So, with that said, let's talk some baseball. More particularly, let's talk baseball contracts. Juan Soto, 15 years, $765 million. Cohen, are you insane? Have you seriously lost your mind? Do you really think that this guy is on the same level of Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, or Bryce Harper? No. No, that is incorrect, sir. This guy, he might be a superstar, but he's a two-tool player. He's a great hitter. He hits for power. His on base is very, very good. It's impeccable, really. However, his defensive metrics, not so much. His defensive metrics are actually very below average. He's not a very good fielder at all. In the next few years, that man's going to be a DH, flat out DH. And you basically paid $765 million for that. And here's a good question. Where's MVPs? Where are his most valuable player awards for the season? Nowhere. He has none. Goose egg, brother. Now, Shohei Ohtani got his big contract because he was a two-time MVP and just one of the most versatile players you will ever see, ever. The only other time you've ever seen anything like him was the great Babe Ruth. That's the last time you've ever seen anything like this guy. Guys like Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, and Bryce Harper. These three guys are five-tool players, all around excellent ball players. You can build teams around these guys. You really can't build a team around Juan Soto. He's not your main guy. He's not your main guy. He's an amazing support player, a great support player. But when you thought about the Yankees, no, you thought about Aaron Judge first. He was an afterthought. When you thought about Washington Nationals, did you think about Soto? No, you thought about Bryce Harper. However, that did actually go by the wayside when Harper went to Philadelphia. So bad example, sorry. Padres. When you think about the Padres, were you thinking about Juan Soto? No, you're thinking about Fernando Tatis. That's the guy you were thinking about. He's a great support player. He's a fantastic support player, but that's all he is a support player. Eventually that guy is going to be a DH. You can justify Mike Trout's contract, despite the fact that he's been hurt, Angel fans, I know. But you can justify it because he's been so good in the past. 3 MVPs before he got that extension. Again, Ohtani had 2. Bryce Harper, he had 1 before he got his big-time contract, but he rewarded Philadelphia with a second one. So did Ohtani. He rewarded the Dodgers with his third. So, again, when did this guy become more valuable than Shohei Ohtani? A man who not only is a perennial all-star MVP caliber hitter, he's also a perennial all-star Cy Young caliber pitcher. You get 2 in 1. So, yeah, you can justify his big-ass contract. But Trout, Harper, Judge, they got literally half about what Soto got, and they're twice the players he is. It's insane. It's gotten to a point where these contracts, you're just trying to outdo everybody contract-wise. Now, either Cohen's just desperate for that kind of player, or Scott Boras really got that guy wrapped around his finger. Did some kind of razzle dazzle. Hey, you got this guy. He's amazing. He's fantastic. He'll get you runs. He won't save him though. He won't do that. It's insane. When you think about smaller market teams, these guys have a hard time competing with these contracts the way they are. You got that salary cap for a reason. It was mainly because the Yankees kept buying everybody's all stars and not developing their own. I mean, come on, when you have 5 players on your roster out of 25 that are your own, that's not great. And you think about the Angels right now. You got Trout, you got Ward, you got Adele, you got. I don't like saying Adele. I'm just using it as an example. Shanuel, Neto, Ohapi. Well, no. Technically, Ohapi was traded for, but he came up with the team. He came up with the Angels. He didn't make his debut with Philadelphia. He made his debut with the Angels, so that counts. That counts. Regardless, you got all those. You got multiple players that the Angels brought up through their system. These are their players. You know, Dodgers have a hard time saying that right now, but it's beside the point. The fact of the matter is, the smaller market teams have to utilize their own players. The guys they draft, the guys they develop, the guys that come through the system and eventually start doing very, very, very well for them. Well, remember what happened with Kansas City? They won the World Series in 2016 with their own players, but then they were going by the wayside. Hosmer's gone. Stocks was gone. Now, then again, they got their big contracts and sucked ass. Man, they were bad. Salvador Perez got his big contract. They extended him, kept him around. That was good. But, I mean, again, they're a smaller market team, and they have a hard time competing with the bigger market teams when it comes to signing these players. Tampa Bay's, known for flat out getting rid of their players, trading their players away because they're not going to be able to afford to keep them. And they have amazing players. They've had great players throughout the past, and it's just not been great. It's not been good for them. They've been so close to the World Series many times that, and they've had to retool. It's not fair, guys. It's not fair to these other teams when you guys are wanting these big ass contracts. I know you're worth it, but think about your team. Think about the players. You want to win a World Series? Hey, you got to give your team a chance to keep the players that are basically getting them there, not just you. I'm going to leave it at that. The contracts are nuts, and honestly, I think the players need a little bit of a change of heart. Understand your value, but understand where your team's coming from too. It's not difficult to do that, guys. So with that said, spring training games have started, and I will be getting back to you on those. So until then, please go Halos.